Hello, Mr. Green. I'm understanding that you're here to get your analysis of all of your test results. So we're going to go over those together and then try to make up a plan for you and your future goals. So first here, I have all of your blood work along with all of your fitness testing. It says here that you have a total cholesterol of 170. So this is actually a desirable number. This is a number that we like. Of course, we can always lower it and that will be better, but the optimal is below 200, so that's what you have, 170. The next thing we're going to look at is your LDL, which is also optimal. We would like the LDL to be anywhere less than 100, and yours is right at, so that's really good. Once again, we can still lower that, but it's still good. Next is your HDL, and it's 50. So an HDL is your good lipoproteins, so we can actually, if we raise that, that would actually help for a negative risk factor, but it's still a good one. It's in the 50, which a low is 40 and a good one is 60. So if we could just raise it a little bit, which we can also do through other methods we'll go over later, then that would also be beneficial to you. So the next thing we're going to go over is your triglycerides. And yours are 90, which is very low actually, and normal, so that's really good. So the next thing we're going to look at is your fitness test. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll look at your glucose, which you had 120, which this is a little high. We actually would like this to be a little bit lower due to the fact that it is pre-diabetic, so that's not a good thing, but we can also get that down with the nutrition plan, which we'll go over later. Next thing we'll look at is your fitness test. You have a resting heart rate of 180. This should actually be a little bit more towards 60. This is whenever your heart isn't doing physical activity. We like it to beat a little bit lower due to the fact that it puts more strain if it beats higher. So the lower the better. Like I said, yours is 80. We'd like more 60. So we'll go over ways to get that down as well with exercise and nutrition. The next thing we're going to look at is your resting blood pressure. Yours is 145/92. This is actually considered hypertensive. It should be more hypertensive stage 1. It should be more around 140/90, but it's still, we can get that down very easily actually. The next test that you did was your push-up test. This is actually really good. We want you to be in the, let me flip my page here. We actually want, for a male 55, we would like you to be able to do in between 12 and 10. You did 11, so that's really a good. Of course, we can also bump you up to the very good, where you would have to do a few more than that, but we can work up to that later. The next test you did was your curl-ups, and you got 6 of them. This is actually well below the average, so we would actually want to strengthen your core up a little bit. Once again, just like every other exercise, core is actually very, very, very beneficial. It's very where the center of all your workouts kind of come from, so to have a good, strong core is actually very good. So we could actually raise that up to roughly about in the low 30s, and that would actually probably be better for you. The next test we went over is your flexibility test, which is your sit and reach. You did 19. This is actually fair. We could probably raise it a little bit too. Once again, flexibility is important because if you can bend well, you lower your risk for other injuries and other possible issues that might arise later. So the next thing we'll go over is your body composition, which you had a 31% body fat. Here is actually one of the bigger issues that you have. This is actually very poor reading. We actually want it to be more around the 20%. Like I said, nutrition and physical fitness will actually help this a lot. Once that number gets a little bit lower, it actually decreases, it could possibly decrease a bunch of your other problems like your resting heart rate and your hypertensiveness. So possibly that would lower quite a few things actually. It could also help with your pre-diabetic issues. let's move on to the next thing. So your next one is your waist circumference, which you have a waist circumference of 110 centimeters. This is actually extremely high. We want to lower that as well. Once again, that comes with exercise along with a multitude of other things. So the lower we can get that number, the better. Lastly, I'd like to go over all of your risk factors. The first one is your age, is like you're a 55-year-old farmer, as you said in your profile. The next one is the fact that your mother passed away from myocardial infarction. That's not good. Along with your other risk factors, it becomes a major risk factor for you. Along with that is your diabetic. A big risk factor that you have is smoking. If you would like to get you into a smoking cessation class, that would help your workouts, that would help your way of life. Once again, I don't have to go over how many risk factors are associated with smoking, but there's plenty. As of right now, you live a pretty much sedentary lifestyle, which is also a big risk factor for you. The more we can get you to move, the more we can incorporate exercise into at least 3 to 4 times a week, light to moderate physical activity would help a lot with a bunch of your risk factors, and actually probably lower the majority of your lab results that weren't good and your fitness test results that weren't good. Like I said earlier, you're pre-diabetic and hypertensive. These both are extremely high risk factors that we can actually try to fix via diet and exercise if you'd like to visit your doctor, which is also a very good idea. Always a good thing. So you would be in the high risk category due to the fact that you have cardiovascular issues, history of cardiovascular issues, along with a metabolic disorder. So we would want to monitor you first while you're doing your exercise. We don't want you to rush it too much. That could cause harm to you, which is not good whatsoever. So do you have any questions for me?